The place wasn't special. Sticky tables, dim yellow bulbs, a TV in the corner playing sports with no sound, 2-for-1 cocktails with names that didn't make sense. People came here to be invisible, which is why no one noticed them at first. Jungkook was near the back, hoodie up, baseball cap low, sitting with Jimin, Yoongi, and Taehyung. No cameras, no security, just 4 guys drinking bad whiskey from short glasses. They weren't trying to hide, but they weren't trying to be seen. Someone had put coins in the jukebox. An old hip-hop track played too loud over the murmur of voices and clatter of glass. A bartender shouted someone's order, 2 fireballs and a Coke, and laughter exploded from a booth near the door. Normal. Everything was normal, until it wasn't. A guy at the bar, maybe drunk, maybe just loud, leaned back on his stool and looked toward their table. He was mid-laugh, mid-sentence, speaking to someone off to the side. But the word came out too clear, too direct. Pretty boy, bitch. He said it like a joke, or tried to. But it didn't land. Not with the person he was talking to. Not with the bartender. Not with the rest of the room. And definitely not with the 4 at the back. Jimin froze first. His glass was midair, halfway to a sip. He didn't blink. Yoongi tilted his head. Not curiosity. Calibration. Taehyung turned his face just slightly, like the sound had scratched something inside his ear. And Jungkook? Jungkook moved, not fast, but with intention. He stood. The guy at the bar didn't notice at first, or pretended not to. He kept laughing, like he didn't mean anything, like it was just words, like the sentence hadn't shifted the pressure in the entire room. But it had, because suddenly the music wasn't loud enough, and everyone started listening. Jungkook didn't rush. That made it worse. He stepped out from behind the table, like there was nothing unusual, like he was just going to the bar. Like the word hadn't landed in his chest, but the room felt it. The jukebox kept playing, but the beat didn't hit anymore. The bar didn't fall silent, not yet, but people started pretending harder, pretending not to notice, not to hear, not to stare. A couple near the window suddenly got very interested in their fries. A guy with a beer bottle traced the rim with his thumb. The bartender bent down to check a keg that didn't need checking. Jungkook walked past them all. Jimin stood, didn't follow, just stood. Taehyung shifted his weight forward, like he might move too, then leaned back again. Yoongi stayed exactly as he was, eyes locked on the guy at the bar, jaw set, but not tight. The man who said it, late 30s maybe, old hoodie, red face, still hadn't turned. He was talking to his friend now, smirking, like it was just a line, a throwaway, something said into the air. Jungkook reached the bar, no announcement, no escalation, no scene. He stopped behind the guy, half a step, not close enough to touch. The guy's friend noticed first. Eyes flicked upward, froze, looked away fast, then back again, like watching an accident unspool in slow motion. The drunk one finally turned, and it hit him too slow. The face, the build, the presence, the mistake. What? You... He started. Didn't finish. Jungkook didn't raise his voice, didn't clench his fists, didn't say anything at first. Just looked. And somehow, that was enough for the people near them to suddenly become very busy. A woman at the bar pulled out her phone, didn't unlock it. A guy dropped his straw and spent too long picking it up. 2 girls at a table near the wall exchanged looks, sharp and fast, like, is this happening? But neither said it out loud. No one laughed, no one moved. Everyone just waited for something they didn't want to admit they wanted to see. You got a problem? That's what the guy finally said. Not scared, not tough, just automatic, like a reflex he'd used before, in bars like this. Words meant to push the moment back, to take space. But Jungkook didn't step back. He tilted his head, not dramatic, not performative, just to see him better. The guy was taller, broader, but it didn't matter. You could feel it. Everyone could feel it. This wasn't a size thing. This was a, you said it to the wrong person thing. I said you gotta... The sentence cracked halfway. Not because Jungkook spoke, but because he smiled. Not nice, not amused, not anything you could put a name to. A smile with no warmth in it. The kind that makes your stomach drop before your brain catches up. The guy's friend stood, said, "Hey, let's chill, all right?" But no one was looking at him. The bar had stopped pretending now. The bartender froze mid-pour. Someone in a booth took out their phone under the table. A girl by the wall mouthed, "Is that?" And her friend grabbed her wrist without answering. Jungkook still hadn't spoken. That's what made it worse. Because the longer he stood there silent, the more obvious it became. This wasn't a joke. This wasn't over. And it wasn't going to be clean. The guy laughed. One of those dry, ugly laughs people use when they realize they're losing something but don't know what yet. What? You gonna swing or something? And that did it. Not for Jungkook, for the room. A bar stool scraped. Someone coughed. Someone else said shit under their breath. The pressure snapped, not in violence, but in awareness. Now the whole bar knew. Everyone. No deniability. No maybe not. No, that's just a look-alike. It was him. And the drunk had said it. And now they were both standing in the middle of it. No music could cover it now. Jungkook leaned in. Not far, just enough. Close enough that their shoulders almost brushed, but didn't. Close enough that the man had to tilt his head back to keep eye contact. He didn't flinch. Not exactly. But he blinked too many times. His mouth opened like he was about to say something else. Some deflection, some final joke. It didn't come. Because Jungkook finally spoke. One sentence. Flat. No emotion. Just delivered. Say it again. And that sentence. That was the hit. Not a punch. Not a shove. Just 5 words that made the guy step back without meaning to. His heel caught on the bar stool leg. Not enough to fall. Enough to stumble. The room breathed in. Phones came higher. Screens turned on. Faces turned away, and then whipped back instantly. Someone whispered, "Don't!" But it was too late. The man was angry now. Or trying to be. That loud, embarrassed kind of angry that doesn't start in the gut, but in the skin. A heat of being watched. "You think you're untouchable or something?" He said it louder than he meant to. Too loud for a bar this size. Too loud for how quiet it had gotten. The bartender dropped something. No one looked. Taehyung stood. Yoongi hadn't moved. Still watching, glass in hand, unreadable. Jimin had taken 1 step forward, still far, still in it. Jungkook didn't answer. He didn't have to. Because now the drunk man wasn't talking to him anymore. He was talking to the crowd, to the room. Trying to drag someone, anyone, in with him. But no one came. No one backed him. And that was the second hit. He was alone now. Not because Jungkook pushed him there. Because he walked there. And the moment he realized it, that this crowd wasn't laughing with him, wasn't amused, wasn't on his side, he stepped away. Not a retreat, not a surrender, a breakdown. Quiet. Ugly. A man realizing he wasn't the biggest thing in the room anymore, and never had been. The man backed off. Not fast, not clean. Like someone walking away from a fire that's already caught their clothes. He muttered something. Slurred. Low. Incoherent. Nobody asked him to repeat it. He grabbed his drink, left it, grabbed it again, then abandoned it completely. Pushed past a couple sitting nearby, one of whom let out a sharp, "Watch it!" But he didn't turn back. The front door creaked louder than it should have. He left it swinging. And just like that, he was gone. No applause, no noise, no release. The silence he left behind wasn't peace. It was static, still buzzing, still thick. Jungkook stood there for a second longer, not savoring it, not reacting to it, just letting the air cool, letting the room feel what it had done. Then he turned, walked back to the table. Jimin sat down at the same time, quietly. Taehyung dragged his glass toward him. Yoongi didn't look away from the bar, not yet, but finally blinked. No one spoke, and the room didn't reset. The bartender wiped the counter, didn't say anything, didn't make eye contact. A girl at the far booth whispered something like, "That was him," and her friend just nodded, lips tight, like answering too loud would make it happen again. Someone near the door unlocked their phone, scrolled, paused, locked it again. Jungkook picked up his drink, didn't sip it, held it. A guy at the next table over glanced at him, once, not curiosity, confirmation, and then looked down, like he'd seen too much. The jukebox skipped, restarted. Same song. Didn't matter. Nothing in that room was the same anymore. Not the noise, not the air, not them, not us.